A local teacher is being honored at the national level, winning an award for her work in the classroom. Our PTLN cameras were at Mother Teresa School as the community celebrated her accomplishment this morning. Paige Kindop is receiving a rock star's welcome by students and staff at Mother Teresa School. She is one of a select few teachers in Canada to win a Prime Minister's Award for Teaching Excellence.
Paige has really reached out to the community to get her children involved in acts of kindness through specifically her donut project, but also in many other ways. She's really taught her children and her students about the importance of service in the community.
It is truly an honor. I wouldn't have been able to do it without the support from my admin, central office staff, and my colleagues. They have all supported me in this. They deserve this award just as much as I do.
Kindop organized a kindness donut fundraiser over the last few years, with proceeds going to local organizations.
It's a student-led project, so the kids design the donuts, they create everything, they pick why the donuts are designed the way they are. There's reasons behind everything as well as curricular objectives, and then we produce the donuts. But she's the planner and the organizer, does an amazing job.
I had just messaged Mrs. Rustica at Sobeys and I said, I have this crazy project. It was Christmas break, and I said, so many of our students come back, they're unhappy, our families are struggling at these times, our community is struggling right now. And so I said, what if we spread some kindness? My class created a donut, we talked about kindness, the ingredients of it, and then we made it come to life.
Kindop says the donut fundraiser will be back in the new year, and she hopes the idea will spread to other Sobeys stores in Canada. For Primetime Local News, I'm Jace Mackey. And finances were top of mind for city councillors in Lloydminster as the city's tangible capital asset policy was revised. Revisions came in the form of more definitions added, as the policy had not been updated since 2015. This policy is designed for better control and planning in regards to Lloydminster's spending.
There was a lot of discussion around various items. As an example, if we buy a new lawnmower, a push lawnmower, we would not depreciate that lawnmower. But if we buy a $45,000 lawnmower, we will depreciate that and go through that process.
The policy adds several new components such as write-downs, disposals, and work in progress.
It's trying to determine what's truly a cost of doing business versus something that has to be depreciated over the long term. And as standards are set up, it was brought forward by administration to clean up our policy, and I think it was a great policy to bring forward and make it very clear for our finance team to do their job, as well as administration to know where they need to budget accordingly.
And if you're interested at all in the updates made to the policy, you can see the changes at lloydminster.ca/policies. And it's kind of interesting to see Tyler McMurtry from SGI there in a different kind of context.
Oh, definitely, because we talk about him all the all the time for SGI. So it's interesting to see him in a whole new light.
Yeah, he's in a civilian mode right there.
Yeah.
And Costco story, you were saying people at home are going to be a little angry seeing Costco's.
Yes. Since I've been here, Costco has been a very touchy subject, which understandable because Costco is amazing. Despite the crowds, I do enjoy Costco if it's not busy.
What's not to love, honestly, because there's samples.
Yes.
You can get a lot of good stuff for a good price. The food court is amazing.
Let's be real. That's the only reason why I go to Costco for their fries.
Yeah. Oh, those fries are good. Pizza as well, hot dogs, it's everything good there.
Basically, everything that you enjoy outside in the sun, you can find at Costco pretty much. And despite us being into fall, we are still seeing those very sunny days, which we saw today. It was a little bit cooler, on the cooler side due to the wind, but comparatively to the last couple of days, today was actually very nice out. We're sitting at 14 degrees, a little bit of cloud coverage, but for the most part, it's been a very, very sunny day, which has been very enjoyable. And that wind came down from the 30s to the 20s, so the wind's not as fast as it was the last last couple of days, which has been very nice. Across the region in Alberta, 16 in Provost, Vermilion, St. Paul and Bonnyville, 15 in Marwayne and Cold Lake, 17 in Lac La Biche and in Wainwright, 18 in Vegreville, and 20 out in Edmonton. And then taking a look on the Saskatchewan side, Isle Cross is sitting at 8 degrees, 15 in Pearson, 12 in Green Lake, 11 in Meadow Lake, 13 in St. Walburg and North Battleford, 14 in Maidstone, and 16 out in Macklin. And then overnight tonight in North Battleford, it'll drop just to 4 degrees. Last night it was below 0. Tonight will be above 0, so that's always very nice to see. Very promising as well. Patchy clouds throughout the night, so it won't be full of clouds, so mostly be clear skies, but there will be a little bit of cloud coverage rolling in. And then tomorrow it should be a very bright and sunny day, a little bit mild at 19 degrees as your daytime high, with that wind just at 11 kilometers per hour, so it should be a very nice day for your Saturday. And then overnight tonight here in Cold Lake, 4 degrees will be your overnight temperatures, turning out clear overnight. So there'll be a little bit of cloud coverage starting out, and then it should remain clear overnight. And then 18 degrees will be the daytime high for Cold Lake, mix of sun and cloud, but it should be mostly sunny all day. And the wind shouldn't be too bad, so it should remain fairly warm. And then overnight tonight here in Lloydminster, 6 degrees, so it'll be a fairly, it should be a nice night out tonight. Patchy clouds as well, so it should be fairly clear, but there will be a little bit of cloud coverage. And then tomorrow, a very sunny day, a little bit of clouds, but for the most part, similar to today, it'll be very sunny and a high of 20 degrees. And that wind should only be at 15 kilometers per hour, so it should be a fairly warm day out, so that's always nice to look forward to. And then over the next 3 days, it's going to be very sunny with a high of 21 on Sunday and a low of 5, and a very sunny day. A little bit breezy, so it should feel a little bit cooler than that 21, but it should still be warm. And then Thanksgiving Monday will be a very sunny day as well, with a high of 19 and a low of 6. And then we have another weather photo submission from Greg here in Lloydminster. Thank you so much for sending this photo of this beautiful sunset in your neighborhood. That's awesome. And if you'd like to see your weather photo on our show, please email us at weatherphotos@stingray.com or post them on our Facebook page at Weather and Pet Photos Stingray. That's your first look at your weather forecast. I'll have a more in-depth look later on in the show.
Beautiful photo there. Thanks for that, Abby. Stay with us. Changes are coming to changing in hockey. More on that next. Very excited for our next story. The weekly entertainment feature is back this week with a new coat of paint. Our Ty Roswell visited May Cinema 6 to get the scoop on what's playing there this weekend.
I'm Ty Roswell, and I'm here at May Cinema 6 to give you a little look at what's happening in entertainment this weekend. With Halloween right around the corner and October beginning, there's absolutely no shortage of horror movies around here. But what about the little guys? You know, the ones that aren't quite old enough to experience everything that Halloween has to offer. Well, May Cinema 6 has you covered with Paw Patrol, the Mighty Movie. Directed by Cal Bunker and rated PG, when a magical meteor crash lands in Adventure City, it gives the Paw Patrol pups superpowers, transforming them into the Mighty Pops. So if you're looking for some good family fun entertainment, Paw Patrol, the Mighty Movie has you covered. And now for the main attraction everyone's been waiting for, the horror movies. Starting with The Nun 2, that's been getting very favorable audience scores. Directed by Michael Chaves and rated R, in 1956 France, a priest is murdered and evil is spreading. The sequel to the worldwide smash hit follows Sister Irene as she once again comes face to face with Valak, the demon nun. Now, The Nun 2 may scratch your horror itch, but if you're like me and like the next big thing, well, May Cinema 6 has you covered as well. And now for the big attraction this weekend, we have The Exorcist Believer. Now, I am so excited for this movie, as the original Exorcist is my personal favorite horror movie of all time. Directed by David Gordon Green and rated 14A, This supernatural horror film is the 6th installment in the Exorcist franchise. However, it serves as a direct sequel to the classic original film, The Exorcist. The parents of demonically possessed girls desperate for help search for Chris McNeil, who fought similar demons in the original film. Now, I am so excited to see The Exorcist Believer, but unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. But remember, if none of these movies are quite up to your speed, well, there's plenty others to choose from that we did not discuss. But whatever you choose to see this weekend, hopefully you choose to do it at May Cinema 6.
Moving to sports now, both of the Lakeland Wrestlers basketball teams are finishing up their preseasons with the game against Briarcrest Clippers. With more, here's Thomas Wildman.
First up was the girls' game, and while it was tight early, the girls came alive in the second quarter and never took the foot off the gas, leading to an impressive 91-59 point victory, with point guard Destiny White getting the player of the game with 15 points on the night.
Just really happy for my team. Like, it felt really good to get that big of a lead coming off of the rough game we played yesterday.
The girls are also preparing for the upcoming national championships. As being the hosts, they automatically get an invitation to the tournament.
Yeah, I think with us hosting nationals, we know we're in the national quarterfinal. We've built our roster for that. Our point guard play is exceptional. Both of them are playing very, very good, and we brought back a lot of fifth years. So our culture is coming back to where we needed it last year. Going 10-10 wasn't what we wanted or expected, but it's a good reminder that anyone can beat anyone in our league. So the focus right now is about building for March 13th and that first home game at Nationals.
The men's game followed directly afterwards. However, they had a bit of a weak start both on offense and on defense, leading to the Rustlers being down multiple scores. However, the Rustlers battled back hard in the second half, including starting the third quarter with more than 10 unanswered points. The Rustlers then took control and were able to finish the Clippers off with an 87-77 victory. And head coach Sheree Thomas was happy with the second half effort.
I guess the tale of two halves. We came out and played a little bit of defense that second half, forced a lot of turnovers in that third quarter, which led to easy baskets. That first half, we weren't playing any defense, we weren't getting back in transition, so it was good to see that the team respond, when we were down.
That was the first win for the men's team in the preseason, and it has now given them some confidence and excitement heading into the regular season.
Well, everyone's excited. It was good to win this game to get a little feeling of how that feels going into the regular season. But yeah, no, everyone's excited going into the regular season. That's what counts.
Both the men and women will start their regular seasons when they take on the Concordia Thunder. Thomas Wildman, Primetime, local news.
I'm joined here today on Primetime Local News by Christopher Hill. He is the Assistant Fire Chief with the Lloydminster Fire Department. So thanks for coming here today, Christopher.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And we're talking today about Fire Prevention Week that's coming up next week. Emphasis this year on cooking safety. So let's just start talking about that. Can you kind of talk to me about maybe some tips that people should keep in mind for when they're cooking to make sure that they're avoiding possible fires, and also just talk about how big of an issue this is.
Yeah, for sure. So we've had 42 reported structure fires this year. Out of those, 25% were caused by cooking, and 27% of our annual call volume right now is actually cooking-related incidents. So we just want to urge people to take caution and precautions when they're in the kitchen and when they're cooking. The number one cause for cooking-related incidents is unattended cooking. So we just want people to keep an eye on their food all the time. Have working smoke alarms in their homes is really important. Making sure they're checking those batteries twice a year. Having a kid-free zone around all your cooking appliances is really important. No, no toys, no kids in that area is a good idea. And then if you do encounter a small fire, making sure you have a lid nearby to smother that fire, and do not add water to a grease fire because you can actually make it a lot worse and possibly burn yourself as well. So we want to remind people to call 911 if they're ever unsure if they've had a small fire or their smoke alarm is making a weird noise. Just call 911. We have crews that are always available to serve the community.
And that's a big message from the department is, if if you're concerned about something, it's better to ask than to not, and then something bad comes out of it, right? Don't be embarrassed to ask for help if you need it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we always like to say it's better safe than sorry, right? So even if you're just unsure, just give us a call and we'll have somebody come check it out. Yeah.
That's good. And so preventing. So obviously we were kind of going over some ways to prevent it, but when it comes to fire safety in other parts of the house, do you have any other tips that people should keep in mind?
Yeah, for sure. So always have 2 ways out of every room is really important. Part of the fire safety with Fire Prevention Week we like to hit home as well is fire escape planning. So if there is a fire or an emergency in your home, just knowing how to get out for every room, having 2 ways out, practicing your home escape plan as well with your family. So if you have young kids, making sure that you have that meeting place. Everybody knows where that meeting place is. That's where you would call 911 from. And then just making sure that everyone is on the same page and you guys practice that home fire escape plan together.
Now heading into Fire Prevention Week, there's some events and kind of community engagement, maybe sessions that the department's having here in the community. So do you want to go over some of those? I know that there's a couple with the Bobcats games coming up, right?
Yeah, so we have the Bobcats game tonight, and tomorrow we'll be setting up a fire prevention table from 6 p.m. to around 9:30 p.m. And we'll be handing out all kinds of goodies for kids. We got coloring books and fire hats and stickers and magnets. As well as pamphlets for the parents to look at so they can know how to stay fire safe in the house. As well as we have the farmers market from 12 to 5 at the Service Sports Center tomorrow. Before the Bobcats game, we'll be again setting up a prevention table there, just letting people know about Fire Prevention Week. And we're also going to be promoting the open house.
Yeah, so let's talk a little more about that open house taking place on Thursday. What are kind of the hours and which fire station is it happening?
Yeah, so it'll be Fire Station 2, so that's the one by Lakeland College, 3:30 to 7:30. We're going to have all kinds of fun events there, so we're going to have refreshments and goodies while supplies last, a fire prevention table, fire station tours, fire truck tours. We'll set up the aerial truck so people can see the ladder. And then we're going to have a target set up for kids. They can use the fire hose and hit targets. And we're going to do some live fire demos. And we're actually going to show people what it looks like when you have a grease fire and you add water. So we're going to actually show how volatile the situation can be if you do add water. So we'll probably be running that about every hour on the hour from 3:30 to 7:30.
That's really cool. I think that's obviously it's something you don't want to ever have to see, but being able to kind of see that and understand the risks, I think, is probably important for people.
Yeah, for sure. They get to see it firsthand as well, so they'll know the effects of a grease fire, and then hopefully that can kind of stick with them, and they'll know what to do.
So how important is it for the department to be able to kind of have these sessions to engage with the community? Obviously, it's got to be nice for the kids and fun for them to be able to interact with, firefighters and fire trucks and stuff like that, but just the community in general too. It's probably important to be able to build that connection with the community.
Yeah, for sure. Part of my role in fire prevention and fire education is just community engagement, getting out there with all the businesses and all the residents, addressing people's concerns, any questions they may have, and building fire prevention programs with all the schools. So next week I'll be very busy in all the different schools, and it's awesome to see the kids year after year learn and retain the information for fire safety. And then when you come back the next year and they're a grade older, they remember and retain so much of the information from the year before. And it's so nice to see like an effective fire prevention program in place. And then you send some stuff home with the parents. They look over the pamphlets, and you're getting them to check their smoke alarms, ensuring they're safe around the house with fire escape planning and cooking fire safety. So yeah, it's just great community engagement all around, and doing things like this to just help remind people of the events and where we're out and about in the community. It's great.
Yeah, that's great to hear. Thank you so much, Christopher, for coming in today. Is there anything else that you want to get out there for people to know about when it comes to fire prevention?
We really want to punch home the number one thing is people call the fire hall phone all the time, but like if you're unsure, just call 911. Like if your smoke alarm's making a weird noise or you had a little fire and you're still just unsure, just call. We have crews available 24/7.
Well, thank you so much for coming in today. It was great to meet you and be able to have you share some of the tips you have, and hopefully the community can catch you and some other people with the fire department throughout the weekend and into next week when we talk fire prevention further.
Perfect. Thank you very much for having me. Appreciate
it. Thank you.
It's a beautiful drive out to Frenchman Butte, and the Frenchman Butte Legion hopes you can join them next Saturday for their grand reopening and celebration. They've done some renovations at the Legion in Frenchman Butte, and they want to show those off. They've got some awards they're going to hand out. Plus, there's a chance for you to dance the night away. A multi-tribute artist featuring the voices of legends like music from the Beatles, Johnny Cash, and so much more is going to be the entertainment that evening. It's coming up next Saturday, but you need to RSVP by tomorrow. So give Maxine a call at 306-830-4338. Coming up next week, the Vic Juba Community Theatre has a great lineup taking to the stage, and it all starts on Tuesday night. ABBA Revisited will take to the stage. Great music of ABBA, and this is North America's #1 tribute to ABBA. So that's coming up Tuesday night. Then Wednesday night, you're going to laugh a lot as the ultimate Robin Williams tribute experience takes to the stage. Roger Kabler is starring in this. He's a stand-up comedian, considered one of America's greatest impressionists, and this is the first time that this show's going to be in Canada. That's coming up Wednesday night. Then Thursday night, a little bit of rock and roll as Zachary Stevenson performs his tribute to Buddy Holly. If you're interested in these shows, you can get all the details and get your tickets now online at vicjubatheatre.ca. And coming up next weekend, the Vermilion Folk Club is proud to welcome Juno Award winner Ray Bonneville. Tickets are available now. You can stop by the Vermilion Credit Union to get your ticket. Well, whatever you choose to do this weekend, we hope you stay safe and stay healthy.
What's Happening is brought to you by Northern Factory Workwear, Circle Drive East, Saskatoon, and Highway 17 South, Lloydminster.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery, downtown Lloydminster.
Very happy to be joined here today by Chris Armstrong, who's a member of the Lloydminster German Heritage Society. Thank you so much for joining me.
And thank you, Abby, for having me.
Of course. Now, coming up next Saturday, October 14th, the German Heritage Society is holding Oktoberfest, and that's super exciting. And, you know, Oktoberfest has been celebrated and continues to be celebrated all over the world. Can you tell me a little bit about the history of this event?
Oktoberfest started in Munich on October 12th in 1810, and it was a marriage celebration between Prince Ludwig of Bavaria. He was the Bavarian prince at the time, and he was marrying Princess Teresa, and they decided to have this big wedding celebration that lasted 2 weeks long. And so that's probably why Oktoberfest runs for several weeks in Munich to this date, and although it starts in September. But yeah, so it's been running since 1810.
It's awesome that it's become a worldwide celebration. Now, the German Heritage Society is hosting Oktoberfest here in Lloyd. What can people expect from this event?
Well, we've been running this event since 1992 when we started our society, and we went off and had this first Oktoberfest, and it's been going ever since, except for when we were closed down for the last 3 years with COVID. We never had it. So typically when people first come in, the doors will open, people will get settled and everything. And just before the dance starts, we'll have official opening ceremonies, and we'll have members of our group parading with our MC, and and typically the mayor is also invited. So not sure 100% yet if he's in attendance yet or not this year, but that is the big thing in Europe, where the Burgermeister, which is the mayor, taps the first keg to officially open Oktoberfest. So we do this in a simpler kind of version, and we have our dancers that are going to be here as well, and they'll be all parading around. And then we'll do Richard Starkey as our MC, and he'll be doing our official kickoff to the evening.
It sounds like it's going to be a really fun event, and you said that it's been going on since the early 90s. Is there anything new this year that people can expect for those who have been going in the past?
This year, we'll still be having the food and the beer. A typical Oktoberfest beer is called a Märzen beer, which we get from district brewers. But we're also this year incorporating our local Fourth Meridian kegs, some of them as well. So we'll be having 2 different breweries kegs at our event. And I guess our band, we've long time had the Emeralds for a very long time, but this year we're going with the Prairie Dogs, which are a local duo. And so we're quite excited to have them. They have done other Oktoberfests in the area, so we decided to tap into their expertise. And we also have our dancers back again for the Concordia Alpenrose Schuhplattler dancers, and they're from Saskatoon. And they're always excited to come to our event, and they bring lots of energy. And they'll also have some dances where they're audience participation dances. So feel free to come up, and it's almost kind of like German line dancing, I guess, sort of. It's little things that they put together, and they're always lots of fun. And we'll also have some contests, the Stein holding contest, which seems easy, but it's a very big beer stein, very big beer stein filled to the top with water. And you have to hold your arm out strictly out in front of you, or elbow locked. And if you drop any water, then you're eliminated out of the contest. And basically, last man standing that hasn't dripped any water wins the contest. And we also probably might, never know, we sometimes do these randomly with our Schuhplattler group. They'll sometimes throw in a Schuhplattler contest. So if you want to try to dance like those guys do with the slapping of the knees and the heels and the hips, and you might be asked to participate in one of those contests. So that's kind of the entertainment for the night. And also we have Richard Starkey, our MC, and he's been with us for all these years as well. And he just holds that whole evening together, from the opening ceremonies to about every 20 minutes in the evening. We'll be breaking out in song, singing Ein Prosit, which is a typical German beer drinking song. And he'll be leading everybody in that. And that really gets the crowd going too. So it's definitely a fun event.
Yes, it sounds like it. And it's great that, of course, you'll have the German heritage and history within the event, but you're also incorporating local as well, which I think a lot of people will appreciate and really enjoy. So that's really awesome. For the event, where is it being held? What time does it start? And how can people get tickets?
Well, it's on the Saturday, and the doors on Saturday, October 14th at the WLS Convention Center. And the doors will be opening at 7:30, and our dance will be starting at about 8:30. So about 8:15, our opening ceremonies will be happening. And the late lunch will be between 10 and 11. The tickets are $45 per person for advance sales, $50 at the door, or $380 for a corporate table of 8 to secure your table. Tickets are available at Lloydminster Animal Hospital, Southside Vet Clinic, and Cliff Rose for Clothes. And these businesses have been awesome in selling these tickets for us for numerous years. And also you can pick them up from any of our society members, and they're listed. I'm not going to list all their phone numbers or anything right now because it's too many sort of to list, but they're on posters around town. Or you can even just call me, and my number is 780-871-8455. And also, I talk about our food. We have an interesting thing with our Oktoberfest here, because our sausage that we have made is an original recipe from a former member who has now passed on, but we have that recipe, and Diamond 7 makes it for us, prepares that sausage specially for us. So together with the sauerkraut and the pretzels, and it's a fun evening.
I think this is going to be a fantastic evening for those who do come out and celebrate, because Oktoberfest is such a wildly celebrated event all over the world. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I wish you the best of luck for October 14th.
Thank you very much.
And finally for us tonight, Abby, 2 Ontario seniors are proving age is just a number, and they're doing it on one ski. Take a look at this video here. Don Gallinger, who is 73, and Douglas Burton, who is 66, have been water skiing for over 20 years. Now each year they effort to get out as much as possible, and today marks their 100th rip along the water for the year. Now Douglas is a former real estate agent, and Don is a computer studies professor. They hit the waves during the summer and the slopes during the winter.
Wow, they certainly are a lot better on the water than I would be for sure. And again, they're young, they're living young, they're staying young.
They're young at heart, right?
They are young at heart, and I think that's awesome. And we're seeing more and more of these stories of older people doing things like this, going water skiing, going skydiving.
Accomplishing stuff.
They're doing things that, typically are, for younger people, and it's awesome to see that, you know, very much staying young at heart, and I love that, and they're having fun, and that's the most important thing.
And finally, the final thing before we go tonight is some personal news, that this is my last newscast here with Primetime Local News, so I want to just say thank you to everyone that I've been able to work with and everyone that I've been able to meet around the community. It's really been fun to be part of this community and also to tell your story, so thank you so much. So for a final time, I'm Jace Mackey here with Abby St. John, so have a good night.